In a quiet modern town where everyone knew each other's name and the streets were lined with modest homes and honest dreams, lived a young man named Caleb Ross. People said Caleb was clever. Some said he was sharp. But most, when speaking honestly, said he was greedy. Caleb wasn't always that way. As a boy, he had watched his parents struggle to keep their small grocery store open. He remembered the nights they counted coins at the kitchen table, whispering worries they thought he couldn't hear. Back then, he made himself a promise: one day, I will have so much that I will never fear losing anything. That promise became his compass. By 26, Caleb had already earned a reputation. He flipped houses, bargained ruthlessly, and negotiated every deal as if kindness were a weakness. If someone sold low, he bought. If someone needed help, he charged. The town admired his success but distrusted his heart. He smiled often, but it was the smile of someone calculating profit, not sharing joy. To Caleb, life was a game of gain. The more he collected, the safer he felt. Yet safety never stayed. Each dollar he earned only made him crave 10 more. Each victory only reminded him of what he still didn't have. One autumn morning, news spread that old Mr. Whitaker, who owned the last large piece of farmland near town, wanted to sell. The land was beautiful. Rolling green fields, a small lake, and trees older than anyone alive. Caleb saw opportunity, not beauty. If he bought it cheap and sold it to developers, he could earn more money than he ever had before. He went straight to Whitaker's porch. The old man sat rocking gently, eyes calm as still water. "You want the land," Whitaker said, before Caleb even spoke. Caleb smiled. "I want to help you. I can give you a fair price. Cash." Whitaker studied him quietly. "Fair for who?" "For both of us," Caleb replied smoothly. The old man chuckled softly. "Son, I've watched you since you were small. You're quick with numbers, but slow wit. Wisdom." Caleb's smile tightened. "So is that a yes?" Whitaker leaned forward. "I'll sell it to you under one condition. You can own as much land as you can walk around before sunset tomorrow. Start at sunrise. Wherever you return by sunset will be yours, for a single dollar." Caleb blinked. "That's it? That's it." Greed sparked in Caleb's chest like a struck match. "As much as I can walk?" He imagined circling miles, claiming the entire valley. "Deal," he said instantly. That night he barely slept. His mind raced with calculations, routes, distances, shortcuts. He mapped the longest path possible, determined to claim more land than anyone ever had for almost nothing. At sunrise, Whitaker handed him a wooden stake. "Mark your start," he said. "Return here before the sun disappears. If you don't, you get nothing." Caleb nodded and began walking. At first, the air was cool and sweet. Birds sang. Dew sparkled. But Caleb didn't notice. He walked fast, marking corners, stretching his path wider and wider. When he felt tired, he pushed harder. More land means more money, he told himself. More money means more security. By noon, sweat soaked his shirt. His legs ached. But he looked at the vast circle he'd traced and thought, not enough. He kept going. The sun climbed. The air thickened. His throat dried. Still he walked. By afternoon, his steps grew heavy. His stomach growled. He had brought no water, no food, only ambition. He glanced at the sun. It was already beginning its slow descent. A flicker of worry crept in. I should turn back. But then he looked ahead at another stretch of land and thought, just a little more. He walked farther. The sun dipped lower. His heart began pounding, not with excitement now, but fear. The starting point was far behind him. Much farther than he'd realized. Panic whispered, "Run." So he ran. Dust rose around his shoes. His lungs burned. The horizon glowed orange as the sun slid down. Each breath scraped his chest. His vision blurred. Still he ran, chasing the stake he had planted that morning, as if his life depended on it. Because now it did. The sky turned crimson. He could see the starting point in the distance. Whitaker stood there, small against the fading light. Caleb's legs trembled. His chest felt like it would burst. The world tilted. But greed pushed him forward. Almost there. Almost there. Think of the land. Think of the money. The sun kissed the horizon. With a final desperate cry, Caleb lunged forward and collapsed beside the stake just as the last sliver of sunlight vanished. Silence fell. Whitaker walked slowly to him. "You made it," he said gently. Caleb didn't answer. The old man knelt and turned him over. Caleb's eyes were open, but empty. His chest was still. His hands were clenched in the dirt he had tried so hard to own. Whitaker sighed sadly. "All the land in the world, and you only needed 6 feet." The townspeople buried Caleb on the very field he had claimed. No grand monument marked his grave. Just a simple stone and the quiet wind moving through grass. And in that silence, his story began to speak louder than he ever had in life. Children who passed the field heard it from their parents. Workers told it to one another at lunch. Travelers carried it beyond the town. They spoke of the young man who wanted everything and lost everything chasing it. Because his journey was not meaningless. His rise showed ambition. His fall revealed truth. His life became a lesson. Greed had promised him security but gave him fear. It promised him abundance but gave him emptiness. It promised him victory but delivered loss. And so his story lives on as a reminder whispered through generations. Greed leads to pain, loss, and regret, because wanting too much often means ending up with nothing. Yet within that warning lies hope. For anyone who hears his story can choose differently. To walk slower. To want less. To live more. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and follow.